Okay, guys, it's Dr. Ryan, and today we're going to be talking with one of my patients who's been with me for just about a year or so, Luis, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his experience with Summa Up. So, Luis, why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about who you are, where you live, what you do, some of your hobbies, etc.
Yeah. My name is Luis, of course. I work at Aldi. I'm an Aldi store manager. Some of my hobbies are, well, some of my new hobbies now is going to the gym, really. Going out for a run, really going out for hikes. Just being outdoor overall is really what I enjoy, and going for a nice drive in my Mustang. So that's what I like to do.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your experience prior to you starting with the clinic. I want you to kind of think back, a year ago, and think about some of the problems that you were trying to solve in terms of your physique and your overall health. What were those problems exactly?
I was definitely overweight, low energy. I was a couch potato. Slept all day. I really didn't have any motivation to go out and really take charge of my life. Just depressed. No matter what I did, I felt I was never good enough. I saw the people and they had this physique, and I'm like, I want that. I want to look like them, but never had the motivation to really get up and do something about it. Never really had that energy to get up and go to the gym and start lifting weights. I always looked down on myself. My self-esteem was the lowest of the low. I think that was the biggest problem, was my self-esteem and motivation.
Yeah, a lot of us we tend to kind of brush that off, but your physique and your health plays a huge role in how you view yourself internally and how others view yourself externally, right? And so I think it's really important to do your very best in that regard. And a lot of us kind of put that on the back burner when we're focusing on career or school or whatever, right? And I'm glad that you recognize that. And you kind of alluded to how these problems were affecting you, but I kind of want you to, spend some more time on that. How exactly did these problems with motivation, with low energy, with your physique affect you in a negative way? And I'm thinking specifically in terms of your career. And you're not just an Aldi's manager, you're a consultant. You work with Aldi stores all over the country and really help to train managers and make them the best they can be. So, build yourself up, man. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And
Yeah.
so how did that, but prior to working with us, how did you notice there were some changes in terms of your career or your family or even some of the athletic endeavors you wanted to do?
Yeah. No, definitely my career. I was after starting Summa Up has really taken off, just because I'm training other people, right? And they're coming in with Aldi. It's a little bit different than other stores. It is a grocery store, but it's run with like a skeleton team, right? Where other stores would have teams of 10, 15 people. We only have a team of 6 for the entire day. 3 people opening, 3 people closing, and then we have one manager for the mid of the day, right? From 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So my job is to train the store manager to handle the store, handle the staff, handle any situation. So since I'm the one in charge, showing that new person coming in how to be in charge, I need to be confident, not in just my job, but in myself. So if that person sees doubt when I'm trying to train them in, they won't trust me. And whenever they do go on the floor and they're by themselves and they're running their own store by themselves, because with all the management, I'm the store manager and that's it. There's nobody else. Everybody relies on me. So when I train that person to be by themselves, they need to trust that what I say is going to happen. So I need to have confidence in myself. And before I started summing up, I didn't have the confidence to train the people properly. I didn't have the confidence to stand up and go to corporate, be like, hey, I want to go to this store, and I want to train them like this, and I want to create a plan and structure a plan of how the training should be, because I didn't have the confidence in myself to do that. Just because I looked in the mirror and I'm like, I'm not good enough. I don't know what I'm talking about. Or people didn't see the confidence in me when I spoke my words and say, this guy knows exactly what he's doing about what he's doing, and I'm going to do what he says. So someone that helped me out a lot with myself mentally. And once I got myself mentally gathered, it helped me get my career together, if that makes sense.
So, like the problems that you're having currently really affected the trajectory of your career. In other words, like you didn't have the self confidence or the self esteem to see yourself beyond what you were currently doing, and the corporation they're putting on additional obligations, and you almost kind of view them with uncertainty, and you can't be that way as a manager. Is that what you're saying, pretty much?
That's pretty much exactly what I'm saying. I have to be certain of what I'm doing, and especially in my training.
Wow. Okay. Okay. What about in terms of like your family and your relationships? How is that affected?
Oh, poof. So I was in a toxic relationship. Really was a narcissistic relationship where, my girlfriend would, just do whatever she wants, let her walk all over me, and I thought it was okay. She would lie to me. She, did whatever she wanted. As for friends, I didn't really like going out, right? I always wore baggy clothes, old clothes, sweaters in the summer, so I'll be hot and uncomfortable. I didn't like going to the beach. Socializing didn't really exist. Really, I just didn't like being around people. Just go to work, come to my room, sleep, wake up, take a shower, repeat. That was my process. But now, really, it's kind of weird because I feel like of course my confidence a lot better, but I feel like, women look at me differently now when you walk differently, right?
Mhm.
I'm way more social. I'm usually going out every Friday, Saturday with my friends, do something new, to go to a movie, try something new in a restaurant, making plans to go to the beach. And I'm actually excited this year to go to the beach because I'm excited to take my shirt off and be like, wow, I'm proud of what I've built. So from a social standpoint and from a work standpoint, my life has changed drastically. I don't recognize who I am socially just because I'm also making new friends. I was such an introvert where I'm shy just to talk to another person. I didn't even think about talking to a female before. I would have been like, oh man, I don't want to go talk to her. But now I'm talking to people, I'm connecting with people, creating relationships that are going to last a very long time, and just really having a great time with myself, enjoying life.
Yeah, and I think that really derives from that self-respect and self-confidence. I mean, you mentioned that you were in this toxic relationship. If you don't respect yourself, you can't expect other people to respect you either, right? It comes from within, right? And so it's I can see how not addressing those problems could have led to some unfortunate situations in terms of relationships. And then finally, what about athletic endeavors? You have mentioned that you're a lot stronger, you're a lot leaner, but prior to working with us, what was it like?
Oh my God. It was bad. I could barely do 5 push-ups, to be honest with you. 3 flights of stairs will be out of breath, right? Now it's the most a workout I could do. I could barely run down the driveway to go get the mail. I didn't work out at all. I hate working out. I hate lifting weights because it made my body hurt. Physically, I was just overweight, just the worst of the worst you can think about. For walks, even walks made me tired, which is weird now I think about it. Physically, athletically, and mentally, I wasn't there. Couldn't think about going to the gym because I wanted to sit there, play video games, eat chips, drink soda, and have pizza. That was my routine.
It sounds like you want to do a lot of things. You mentioned you enjoy hiking, going on trails, being outdoors, and it's really unfortunate that a lot of people, not just, I mean, your situation's not unique. In fact, there are many individuals that have the situation that, because they don't have the energy levels, or they have the motivation to do so, or the physique or the ability, they just resign themselves to sitting on the couch and eating terrible food, which is a really vicious cycle long term. Okay, so given that situation, I mean, a lot of us, I mean, you've probably seen this quite a bit. There are many people that will just stay in that situation and stagnate, right? And you probably saw a lot of your peers, maybe for a period of time, you were like, hey, I'm just going to resign myself to this situation in my life. What was the inciting event, the watershed event that made you say, hey, I need to make a change?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I did mention my ex was pretty toxic. She cheated on me. Found out she cheated on me. It was a 4-year relationship, right? I was deeply in love with her, right? The old classic story where I gave her everything, right? I would work 40, 80 hours and still have time for her, make time for her. But really, it was my boss that woke me up too. He said, he looked at me, he's like, hey, you're great at your career. You're a great person, right? And he saw me, I was depressed, I was broken. He was like, he had a chat with me, and he was like, you need to look in the mirror and you need to learn to love yourself before anybody could love you, right? And I looked in the mirror, without my shirt, and I was like, this body does not look like somebody that loves themselves, right? Because when you love yourself, you wanted the best for yourself, right? And like when I was with my ex, I wanted the best for her, the best clothes, the best car, right? I gave her the best of everything. So I looked in the mirror and applied it to myself. Am I giving myself the best, right? The best food, the best nutrition, the best workouts, the best everything, the best supplements. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not even trying. So I kind of saw like, you know what? I did deserve to be cheated on. I did deserve for her to leave because that's the man I was. But when I started summing up, I started building myself. I started chiseling out the man I'm going to become. A man that's respected. A man that's respected does not put up with somebody talking down to them or being narcissist, because you're going to respect me because I respect myself at my level.
I get the feeling that you're a pretty altruistic person. You care about other individuals, and that's important, right? Because you develop a lot of connections, and you put a lot of investments in your emotional bank, right? But the key thing is there is, and 90% of the people out there are good, but there's a 10% that aren't, and that you're more likely to get taken advantage, unfortunately, by certain individuals. And I can totally understand that. But I'm glad that you've kind of recognized that, and you've kind of made the change. So it sounds like this talk with your manager was the inciting event to be like, hey, I need to make a big change and start looking for a clinic. Speaking of which, how did you actually find out about Summa Up?
Yeah. So I went online and I've searched that the symptoms of low energy, which lets me need to believe it was low testosterone, right? So I did a quick Google search of the best clinics out there, and Summa Up was on the top, one of them. And then I started looking into the videos, into the reviews, and I'm like, all right, you guys didn't seem like other clinics that I read about. You guys did things a little bit different, which was something that really attracted me, something modern that didn't really follow what other doctors did. And I'll be honest with you, I saw your picture on the website and I'm like, that doctor knows what he's doing. Because, you see, I go other clinics and, the doctors either, they're old, they're overweight, and you have this old guy looking at you, telling you to eat better, run, be healthy. And I'm like, okay, what do you know, right? I mean, you're not doing it. But then I go to your website, see you, and I'm like, I want to look like that guy. I want to do what that guy's doing because he knows something other people don't. So I want to follow him. And really, that was a moment that I was like, yeah, let me give him a shot.
Yeah, I think, whereas it's not like a requisite to when you're looking for a clinic that the physician eats his own cooking, it's always a good thing, of course, when they do.
Right.
And I think it gives a measure of like credibility when they do that. Okay,
Yeah.
Good. Now, you've actually kind of talked a little bit about these changes that you've noticed after joining the clinic and starting on our regimen, supplements, medications, diet, and exercise. But let's talk a little bit more about that. Now, you did mention you noticed a big change in your physique. I'm going to take this opportunity maybe to brag on you just a little bit here. I'm going to share my screen. I am just amazed at the changes you've made, Luis. So first of all, during your time with the clinic, you've lost a tremendous amount of weight. It's been about 35 pounds, a little bit more than that, which is, you started at 205 and you've maintained around 169, 170, which is phenomenal. And, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and just looking at where you were, I can kind of, I mean, just looking at that picture, you can almost viscerally feel the frustration and the unhappiness that you had there. Is that your expression, your facial expression, kind of invokes those emotions, right? But then, now look at you. It's ridiculous. You can see your abs poking out. You feel amazing. You got the nice tricep definition. Your delts are popping out, and your countenance is like completely different. You're smiling. You're ready to go, and it's just remarkable. Going from here to here, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's insane.
Yeah. So tell me, but I want you to tell me in your own words, right? So obviously, visually, you look a lot different, but tell me a little bit more about how, after you joined the clinic and you started the therapies and you followed our protocols, like what exact changes did you notice and feel?
Oh, definitely energy
Okay.
level. It's kind of funny because I'm doing more, right?
Mhm.
But I have more energy, confidence through the roof. Can't even match what I thought there was much confidence I would have. I'm more strict with myself, and I hold myself to higher standards. Really, before I would settle for the minimum. That's no more for me, right? Especially with my diet. No more sodas, no more hamburgers, right? No more fast foods, no more junk food. Now I really look into the nutritions that I eat, right? I've noticed when I do spin off of my diet, I do have that soda and that cheat day with the hamburger or the pizza, because I do have cheat days, right? The
Yeah.
next day I feel bloated, I feel disgusting, and I'm like, man, this used to be me every day. Like I used to drink soda, eat junk food every day. No wonder I was depressed. No wonder I was overweight. So even in cheat days, I'm like, I don't really want cheat days anymore. I'm like, oh, let me eat something healthy for my cheat day. Let me not do that. So, and I thought I would never even say that in my life, right? Because when you're in a diet, you're like, oh, my cheat day, my cheat day, my cheat day. But for me, for just mentally and physically be like, oh, I don't want that anymore. It's life changing, because it's not a diet, it's the lifestyle. And because it's
Yeah.
a lifestyle, I know whatever I've gained, I'm going to maintain.
I mean, there was one statement in there. I mean, there's a lot that we could draw upon, but there's one statement I thought was just pretty remarkable. The fact that you have more energy, and yet you're doing more activities, but you still have more energy at the end of the day, right? And you
Yeah.
want to do more, and you're consistently trying to push yourself, which is amazing, right? Because a lot of my patients, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of professionals, a lot of people coming in, they want to push themselves, they want to get further, but they can't see a solution for this. Like they're hitting a wall and they're like, man, I guess it's just all downhill from here. But you broke through that barrier, which is really, really, really fantastic.
Yeah, man, and I think it's to help with you and your support, right? The
Mhm.
plans and the talks that we have, especially every weekend, every Saturday. I know I'm gonna have to type in and Lean for Life what I did and my exercise and what's going wrong. So I know I'm gonna be held accountable. So 2 weeks at the beginning were the toughest, but once I
Yeah,
broke through that and I knew I had your support, it was easy, really.
great. Okay, so and again, you've also kind of alluded to this earlier on in the interview, but tell me exactly how the changes you have now have affected your career at Aldi.
Oh yeah, and that's easy because I stand up more confident. I stand up straight, right? I'm no longer scared to speak up, right? Or before corporate would tell me something I disagreed on, I was kind of put my head down, just kind of agree with them, like yeah, yeah, sure, all right. Now I'm like, no, I'm like, hey, listen, guys, they're paying me to train people, and I'm like, the way you're structuring things is not working out. Let me restructure the plan. Let me do what you pay me to do, and not solve problems. And let me come out with a better and a more efficient way to do things, right? And before I would never ever be able to speak like that, right? And then Clover's like, oh, okay, let's leave this guy alone. So ever since starting Summa Up, actually I got promoted quite a couple times. I started as a low volume store, making less than $500,000, to making over to a store that's higher volume, that's making more north of $1 million, which is great. I trained countless store managers and assistant managers for the division, and restructured the training plan, things that I would never be able to do before. So I've actually almost doubled that amount of money that I was making just out of confidence alone. Just being able to stand up and talk to corporate, be able to be more vocal, really has helped me out a lot in my career. Having that energy of being there early and having that confidence that people could rely on. Because again, I keep saying confidence line, and to do my job, you have to have a lot of confidence because you're on your own, you're on yourself.
Yeah,
Your team is relying on you. And the thing about being a leader, right? If I panic, my team panics. If I have things straight and set, even if the store is on fire, my team would be fine. So the team is a reflection of me. And because I'm confident, they're confident. I'm strong, they are strong. And because they see a strong leader, everybody follows me.
yeah, and I couldn't say it better, man. That's amazing. Yeah, you truly, your employees are actually you. your experience, your life is a reflection of you, right? Internally, right?
Yeah.
What you put out there, you get back. And it's pretty amazing that the multiple promotions, the respect you're getting from corporate, and the respect you're getting from your employees, the people that you care for, that you take care of, that you instruct and create to have an excellent network is just very evident. So it's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
You did kind of mention some information about your prior relationship, right? And how
Yeah.
it was not the best for you. But have you made any changes in regards to that after joining Summa Up?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I have standards now, right? Before I would go with anybody that came my way, right?
Mhm.
Whether, I like them or not. I just see women differently, if that makes sense. Before, if she was a 3, I would go out with her, right? If she was a 2, I'd be happy she's talking to me. And if she was at 1, I'd be like, okay, I don't know, let's do it, whatever. I don't have any choices. Now I have options. Really, again, it's still I'm still trying to get used to it. Women just look at me differently. Like, I could see them checking me out. And, women do come up and they talk to me more. They feel more comfortable around me. And that gives me options, right? So if you're not at 8, right, in my book, I won't talk to you. Well, I will, but I won't consider going out with you. Whereas before, I'll go out with a 1 out of desperation, right? Talking to women is a lot more smoother because I feel better around them, right? Because I'm around more socially involved. So relationship-wise, now I have definitely standards and I have options thanks to Summa Up.
Yeah, I mean, people, male or female, respond to confidence, and I'm glad that you recognize that. And it's not even just a number. It's the fact that you're getting what you deserve. You are getting the relationships, the interactions, the attention that you feel you're worth, right? Rather than like consistently punching below your weight, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's incredible. And I think when the time's right and when you find that the right person, you're going to have a really rich, wonderful relationship that you can look back on and be like, wow, it's the complete opposite of the situation I had prior to that. Okay.
100%.
So you've talked about a lot of benefits that have come from working with myself and the clinic. Are there any benefits that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, something I haven't mentioned here. I took on boxing too. Started boxing around the same time I started the clinic, and that's amazing, right? That's what's really helped me stay in shape in the gym, be disciplined in the gym, be disciplined in interacting with you, and stand on top of everything. And I'm from a year from now, I'm really looking forward to fight, not professionally, but in the sub-professional arena. So that's something I would have never thought about, getting in a ring and fighting hand-to-hand combat with another man that's about twice my size. I was like, oh, never mind, buddy. But now I'm excited. Actually, I'm actually training to be in a fight, and I'm like, yo, I would have never thought I would be eating clean and be eating healthy and go into the gym getting fit to get ready for a fight. And it's great. It's amazing. The energy, everything is all I can say is great.
That's awesome, man. It's really cool. And, I hope you do well in that endeavor. And honestly, I think, and this applies to any martial art, I guess, when you train in that, just the feeling that you can protect yourself and that you are ready to challenge someone else, right? Not that you would, go out of your way and challenge someone, but just the fact that you can hold your own is really, really powerful.
Yes.
Okay. So what would you tell someone who's watching this testimonial and is uncertain about joining the clinic? What would you tell that person?
100% worth it. I am telling you, 100% worth it. I'll be honest with you. For me, it comes down to economical, right? Mm-hmm. And it's worth every penny, right? Because you're going to go out there and you're going to try some silly diet, which is not going to work. You're going to go out there and you're going to try some supplement that promises you you're going to lose 20, 30 pounds, which is not going to work, right? So every penny you invest in yourself. You're investing in becoming a better version of yourself. Mm-hmm. So it is 100% worth it. Try it out. I mean, you can see my pictures, right? You saw my face. I was genuinely miserable. Right now, I'm fucking happy. That's all I can say. Like I'm not even pretending, or I am genuinely happy, right? I know what it is to be depressed. I know what it is to put that happy face on for everybody else and coming home and being sad. But now I'm happy in or out of my house. I'm happy in my relationships. I'm happy at work. I am exceeding at work. I'm exceeding in my relationships and in my friendships. So if you were thinking about signing up, I want you to stop and I want you to think how much your relationship is worth, how much your relationship with your family is worth. And whatever that is, this is nothing compared to what the man you're going to become in the future. Like, I've become a totally different man. As you can see, you can even recognize me in my before picture, my after pictures, just imagining mentally how much better I am. So definitely sign up for it. You won't regret it.